Both of you are all time.
Of course, because that's what I want to do in my life. So why not get started? How are you?
She knows because I told you she knows.
That's right.
I don't think he's prepared. He knows a little bit, but not prepared. They're all participating meeting.
Good job, Sarah. You did good. No, it's not. You're like with all your friends for the last time. Having fun. It was her prom. Yeah, I don't know better after. I've always been a psychologist.
Like that. Okay, cute stuff, yeah.
Hello. Noah, you have a rubber band? Wait, why don't some of us sit across from each other so we can talk and not have to...
And it looks better too.
She said it wasn't
Whole family's here?
Yeah, we graduated on Thursday.
Oh, genius. How are you? I know the CTeen rabbi inside.
This is Dawn. Jordan's mom. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know. Hi, Julia. Yeah. He's tired. So cute. That's my mom.
Get a good shot.
It's Dawn, Jordan's mom.
Do you want to take a picture?
Yes, bring either.
It's a good yawn first.
Eileen, he might be
He smiled
tired.
for a second. It was really cute.
He might just be tired.
I'm excited for you. We still have time to wait. We're going to stay here.
If I was Persian, I wouldn't be wearing boots.
You can do so. There's open seats back here. We're going to start the program in just a few moments.
Still Brandon.
Good evening and welcome to our 4th annual CTeen Conejo dinner. My name is Brandon Jadidi and it's an honor to be your MC tonight. And this is my 4th and final gala. So this is very special for me because it's going to be my last hurrah and my last time really being with all my CTeen friends and family. So I've grown a lot through the past 4 years in CTeen, and I've gotten a lot skinnier, my hair's grown a lot longer, but more importantly, as a person, I've totally changed. I know you might find this hard to believe, but I'm quiet and very shy. I used to. But being involved in CTeen and being a CTeen leader for the past 3 years has given me the opportunity to become more talkative and outgoing. Being a leader has been a very interesting experience, so, and it has taught me responsibility and how to plan events, but more importantly, putting others ahead of myself. I've seen firsthand the growth of our chapter. As a freshman, the events were nice but very small. Recently, our chapter blew up, and we've had a ridiculous big core of regulars, and we all share a very deep bond. This past February, we won Chapter of the Year, and words could not describe how I felt. Our little chapter in California won over the big chapters in big Jewish communities on the East Coast. I really loved meeting many new people in CTeen, not only not only new friends in this community, but also friends from throughout all California and throughout the U.S. I still keep in touch with many of these friends, and like one of my closest friends is now in Israel, so it's very sad. So I fondly remember my very first Shabbaton, and that was freshman year going to Mission Viejo for Shabbos, and I had the time of my life. For me, it was the first time I really felt like the bring that I am today. And it's going to be a sad realization that next year I won't be able to go on the hikes, the Shabbatons, or enjoy my lazy Saturday afternoons with everybody. But I'll always look back at these amazing experiences and remember the great times we spent together. Okay, so from the very bottom of my heart, I just want to thank Rabbi Mendy and Mushka for everything they've done for me. Mentors, role models, friends, and just someone I've always been able to speak to. My high school experience and my life would never been the same if I never met you guys. Alright, so I'm so glad you're all here tonight, and we're going to enjoy an evening of lyrical elegance and catch a glimpse, and it's totally my words, and catch a glimpse of what our CTeen family really is and what it is to all of us. We'll recap the year and celebrate our accomplishments and enjoy some laughs along the way. So I guess let's get started with the rap.
Say what you're about to do. They're going to rap for us.
We are CTeen and you know where it's at. At Mushka and Mendy's, we all coming back. We know who we are, but if we get stuck, a family is waiting to help us unpack the mysteries of Judaism and all we don't know. A place that has made me feel right at home. From lounge nights to regionals, we make closer bonds. Up all night and we are texting our moms. TLC, together let's connect. Let's share, let's contribute, and let's give back. From Sambo to G-Heights, it's here for rights. Even here without us to check, we help them no regrets. Opportunity, something new, it's the value shoes. A weekend for the books, now I think I'm hooked. The food is so good, you won't want to miss. The tacos for talks and cupcakes for kids. Program was so backwards, like I don't know what's up. It came off the skating with the ring to the top. Although the year was a roller coaster ride, Six Flags showed us that it was all the lie. We came so prepared for the pain in our hair. The fighting was fierce, so we fun in here. Felt like there was fun with all the new faces. We all know that we came to the right places. Colors on colors made a war so fun. Ending with medley in a pool under the sun. Picking through with our friends to feed the poor. Don't know what I did, but that made my heart sore. Mom says not tasty, but we had a blast. Amazed so tight fighting, not many could last. Going around track as fast as can be, as we sing our CTeen melody. NYC was definitely a time to remember. Nothing more than a new CTeen member. Going so fast that time's flying by. Nights on the town with the guys and the gals. We hang out, we know we're really pals. Pizza and paninis and sweet and joy. Lucia pudding is always full of flavor. Bruno said, gang of banana grams. A great way to get distracted from exams. A little competition is always neat, but we know our friendships can't be beat. We take lots of pictures, but not on Shabbat. The true members high within our hearts. We win in the good things, all in our mind. This trophy proves that we are one of a kind. This may not last forever, but together we'll try. Together we know that Conejo will fly.
Thank you guys for that great rap, and for the rest of you guys, I'd like to introduce Rabbi Mendy.
Thank you, Brandon. Thank you, Maddie, Juliet, Miriam, and Shai. They worked really hard on that, and they did a good job. Okay. So welcome. It's nice to see you all here. Another year has passed by, and it's been a good year. And I think I just want to reflect on this past year, just for a moment. Every year is different because every year we have new kids that join the group, and we have other kids that graduate and move on. And every single kid that's part of the group changes the group completely. Everybody brings their own flavor, their own dynamic, their own energy, and that has an effect on the entire group. So this year has been quite an interesting year, a pretty good year. Like you see along the wall, we had years of slowly starting and growing, and then this year it's titled Flourishing, because we flourished this year. I feel like I think like a word to explain it is like last year we were finally able to as a group when we went to New York we were able to scream and dance together, and we weren't afraid because we had a big group and we were so excited, and it was just a great experience. But this year was we had color war this year, and we had improv, acting, and just it was just a whole nother dynamic. Like the group really formed and bonded together this year, and it was something really, really powerful. But I want to, I think to sum up the year that we had, maybe we can use the word intentional or intentionality. Let me explain. So this year we have a very large leadership board with two different departments, and the reason why was because we realized that as you grow and as you establish yourself a group, as you have a strong CTeen group, you have to learn how to care for a group and maintain a group and cultivate a group. And so once we've grown, this year the task was really to figure out what do we do with this growth. And we realized we have to be very intentional. Everything is all about being intentional with everything we do. So we realized that we have two very different avenues of CTeen. We have a core group of kids who have come together to form a community, that have literally formed a family together, and they're comfortable with each other, and they love spending time with each other. And to address that, we have a dedicated group of leaders who spend time and energy and mental space and lots of commitment to thinking about what is it that really keeps a group together and really bonds a group together, and what kind of activities should we have. And it's easy to just say, oh, let's go on a trip, or let's go have a lounge night, and we're going to sit around and figure out what to do. But it's not so simple. It really takes a lot of intentionality to do it. So first of all, just a word, we'll talk about the leaders later. But they did an incredible job this year, putting on events for the group that where when you came, you were engaged, you were bonded with the group. You kind of it doesn't just happen. It takes a lot of intentionality. We also realized that we're a Jewish youth group, and our mission is to bring Judaism to the life of a teenager. And we realized that not everybody is looking for a youth group to be part of, and a new circle of friends. So we started a new group this year, a new leadership board called the Ambassador Circle, And their job was to engage the teens, the Jewish teens of the greater Jewish community with what they want, with what they're looking for, with what they need. There's some kids who are not necessarily looking for a youth group, but they want to connect with their Judaism. They want to have a positive Jewish experience. And that was a whole other group, a whole other avenue that CTeen is here to serve. And we had an exceptional group of leaders who we got together and we thought about it, and they came up with incredible ideas, and the feedback was incredible. But I think Julia's going to talk about that later. But it's all about the more intentional you can be, and it's also about when the leaders, or when any teen and CTeen comes to an event, they realize that this is a community, this is a group, and I'm not just here because I want to have a good time. I'm here because I want to look out for the people that are here, and so there's so much thought and time that goes into thinking, well, how do I, step away for a second when I'm busy enjoying myself with my friends, and how can I look around to see if there's somebody who's left out, or somebody who doesn't have somebody to talk to. And that's an incredible thing. It's very, very difficult to do, we found. But it's something that when you're intentional about it, it really, really pays off, and that's something incredible that our group has accomplished this year. It's also like, I think Judaism in general is like that, about just being intentional with everything you do. We don't just wake up in the morning and go about our day. When we wake up in the morning, we're intentional. Hey, we have another day. And we say Modeh Ani because we're grateful for another day. We don't take it for granted. When we eat food, we don't take for granted that food is ours for the taking. No, we recognize that we thank and acknowledge the provider of our food. We say a bracha, we say an after blessing. Everything in Judaism is don't just go about life. Be intentional about everything you do. So the result of being intentional, for example, is in 3 high school clubs that go on every single week in the local high schools. This year we have a high school club at Westlake, headed by Rachel, and a high school club at Oak Park, headed by Juliet and Miriam and Rebecca and Michael. And we have a high school club at Agora High, which this engages 60 to 70 teens every week, which is pretty cool. And it comes to them. It's something that if you're not looking for something, you just want a little engagement. And again, I said, or Juliet's going to talk about the rest later. But again, the result of being intentional and bringing a strong group together, the result is the group themselves taking initiative. This was not Mushka and my initiative, but the group themselves, they took it all the way, and they brought home the title of Chapter of the Year, which is incredible. That was not our doing. So congratulations, guys. Congratulations. And in the rest of our lives as well, the more mindful and intentional that we are, we'll see success and meaning and connection. So, yeah, we had a great year, and I just want to say thank you guys to all of you guys for making it an awesome year. And with that, I'd like to invite Brandon to come back to the stage.
Yay, Brandon!
Sorry, Mushka to come to the stage.
All right, so Mandy touched on the leaders and the ambassadors, so now we'll give you a moment to bask in your glory. So I had the privilege of working very closely with them this year, and I want to call you guys up, so come up. Please, Karen, Brandon, Juliet, Hannah, Michael, David, Miriam, Rachel, yeah. Maddie, Sarah, Kobe, and Rebecca, who can't be here tonight. One final meeting, guys. One final meeting. Yeah? All right, little sneak peek into our meetings. It's a lot of people, and it's a little hectic. And I'm not gonna lie, sometimes we don't always listen. But anyway, tonight, guys, I'm gonna speak in your language. You ready? Yeah? No?
Wait, what's our language?
We'll find out.
Bro, let's go.
Okay, here we go. What a ride this year has been. Together, you've souped up our chapter and made it the turbo model that it is. You're the... Is that wrong? I'm learning. You're the engine of this chapter. You never once stepped on the brakes, and you have steered our group to the success and growth that it is today. From zero, you leaders stepped right on the gas and accelerated full speed ahead with exciting lounge nights, you get it now, thought out Shabbatones, tailored guys and gals events, and caring TLC days. You were always careful to check the rearview mirror along the way, ensuring that all passengers were welcomed, happy, and comfortable with CTeen. Shifting gears to the ambassadors who focused on the clubs and holiday outreach, ensuring that our miles per gallon were at maximum levels. You embarked on this track with us, exploring roads that were previously unmarked, changing lanes with each holiday, but always keeping your headlights on the target. So thank you for all the many, many hours that you've dedicated to CTeen, for the care that you've shown everybody, all the members, and for making CTeen a priority in your lives, being an example of what a proud Jew is, and for writing history for our chapter. You guys will forever be, I'm really shaking, you'll forever be down in history for winning chapter of the year and for everything else that happened this year. And just for everything you did here for tonight, it's just an example. Everything you see here tonight was made by one of the leaders. We didn't buy an arch, we didn't buy runners. Things were made, things were created by these people's hands, these speeches and everything here tonight. So thank you, everybody. We have something for you, but hold on, we'll have to get it. Miriam, Gabby. Thank you for creating a warm and vibrant home for Jewish teens in the Conejo Valley. Karen Seidner, Madison, in order, Michael Goldberg, Juliet, Gabby, Rachel, Hannah Chernevsky, Rebecca, hold on to that for her, Kobe Barnett, Sarah Lewis,
I don't have
Since you're taller, I think I should.
Yeah, you should.
No, it's come on, it's okay.
Then someone's
It's all good. Do you want to switch?
squat. Yeah. Why is it so complicated? Here, people look down at my shoes. I do have you. What are we looking at?
Thank you. One time, okay?
1, 2, 3,
CTeen. One. Good, thank you.
Hi, everybody. Oh, that's on. I'm Juliet Gabby, and it's really great to be here. It feels like yesterday we were here for last year's gala, but it's true, a year has passed, and like Mandy was saying, it's been quite a year. I got to be a leader this year, not just any leader, an ambassador, a member of the prestigious Ambassador Circle. So, as an ambassador, it was my job and our job to help coordinate the big community events like Unite for Israel and Shabbatunity, the big Shabbaton we had at Brandeis.
These events are designed to reach the greater Jewish community, not just core CTeen members. We also made great strides in improving the on-campus Jewish clubs at our high schools. At Oak Park High School, Agora High School, and Westlake High School, Rabbi Mendy comes to campus once a week, brings food, and teaches us about Judaism. This year we had our first ever Club Shabbat dinner, where kids from the different clubs got together outside of school to celebrate Shabbat. We also do holiday outreach, where we give gifts that pertain to each of the holidays. So for Rosh Hashanah, we gave honey cake in a jar. For Hanukkah, we gave a little gift that also had a raffle, so it keeps people engaged. The friend who I gave a Hanukkah gift to actually came to the Club Shabbat dinner, and then after that he continued coming to Jew crew meetings and came to the CSUN Regional, so it keeps people engaged with CTeen, and it's really nice to see when people really like it and they want to come back. But we really accomplished more than just making CTeen better, bigger, and brighter. We ourselves became better, bigger, and brighter. I joined CTeen mid-junior year, and I had just come from a Jewish high school, and I knew that I needed a Jewish environment, but what I didn't know was how much I needed it and how much I would learn to love Chabad. Chabad's way and CTeen's way is a different way. Here we are positive. Everything you do is better than what you don't do, and we should do the mitzvot and Hashem's commandments with joy. According to the Kabbalistic aphorism, joy breaks all barriers. I found that quote on 613, by the way. 613 is the Instagram account that Miriam and Karen started that we won an award for. So if you aren't already following, yeah, good job. If you aren't already following, you should follow it. Shameless plug. So if you don't, know what I'm talking about, in the New York Shabbaton, they had a contest where you were supposed to make some project that gets other people to do mitzvot. So Miriam, my sister Miriam, again, shameless plug, my sister Miriam and Karen had the idea to create an Instagram account, since we're all on our phones anyway. And the Instagram account posts daily a mitzvah, so you get to learn Torah daily just in your Instagram feed. So if you aren't following, come to one of us and we can help you follow it.
Just follow it now.
Yeah, just follow it now.
Is it just 613?
It's the number 6, the word 13, and the word CTeen. So it's at the number 6, the word 13, CTeen. There you go. Okay, so I hope we get a couple followers from this because we want to keep it going. But anyway, last summer I got to go on CTeen Heritage Quest, which is CTeen's summer trip through Poland and Israel. And it was an amazing experience. I would definitely recommend it. But I learned something really important on Heritage Quest, not just about something more than just the history and being able to be with this amazing group of girls, but I've always considered myself a proud Jew. Been very blessed to live somewhere where I don't have to be afraid, and I've always been a proud Jew, but what I didn't know is that I could be prouder. I didn't think that was possible. So that was a really amazing experience, to be able to become an even prouder Jew. And thanks to CTeen, I've been happier. I've made my best friends here. I often say there are 3 houses where I feel totally comfortable. My house, my grandma's house, and Mendy and Mushka's house. It's been an honor and a pleasure to be part of CTeen Conejo, the chapter of the year, for the past year and a half. And I'm proud to say that CTeen inspired me to go study in Jerusalem this year. Yeah, it's this September. So I'll be spending this year in Jerusalem. Thank you to Rabbi Mendy and Mushka, the whole Sapo family, for everything that you do. Of course, Sarah Tahan. Thank you to all my friends, my best friends, for being the best friends I ever could have hoped for. Thank you, of course, to my family for supporting me through everything. I couldn't have done anything without you, Mommy, Daddy, Mimi, Raphael, Uncle David, Mom, Bobby, and Blue, our dog.
We love Blue.
Yes, we do love Blue. Even as my fellow seniors and I move on, we'll always be CTeeners, and a family forever will be. Thank you.
Thank you, Daddy.
so Juliet said she's moving on, and there's a few other people who are moving on, and I would like to ask them to come up for a few minutes. The graduates of 2019, Hannah Ternevsky, Hannah Ebrun, Harrison Friedman, Juliet Gabay, Michael Wolford, Bradley Goodfinger, Brandon Jadidi, David Katz, Joey Lewis, it's a long list, Jordan Michael, Ariel Saida, Ben Saida, Natalie Saida, Karen Seidner, and Eliana Sokoler. Check this out. Guys, where are you going? These are the graduates. Seniors of 2019, we're going to stand, gather round. You come on stage so I can talk to the back then. If you're not on stage, you know what this means. You stay, and you have big shoes to fill next year, and a lot of work to do. But anyway, more about that later. So, cheating. Anyway, we need a bigger stage. Next year to a bigger stage. Let me move over. They said that tonight is an evening of lyrical elegance, so we broke down the word graduate for you guys. Ready? Oh, this is almost wrapping. Okay, here we go. Gifting goodbyes to the greatest group of grads of this glorious and gregarious year. Rooting for you as you recalculate your route on the rhythmic roads of real life. Always be aware that our active abode anxiously awaits your adorable and abundant appearance. Dearest graduates, dream big, dig deep, and dance to the drum of the divine. Ultimately uniting the unique yet universal understandings that you unearthed here. Do you know what I'm saying even? We have fun writing it, so that's what matters. And may the Almighty actualize your abilities, allowing you to accomplish your amazing aspirations. The thanks for the tremendous triumph our once tiny teen team has had is a tribute to this terrific troop. Endeavor to enlighten and be an exceptional example in your expedition to educational excellence. There's no M in graduate, but we do want to say that we're going to miss all of you guys a lot. And I'll stop there. We're going to miss you a lot. Come back and visit. And we have a gift for you that's also inconveniently located down at the bottom of the stage. Brandon, David, Eliana, Hannah E, Karen, Juliet, Hannah C, more, Ben, Natalie, Harrison,
Oh, it is a book.
Michael, Bradley, and Ariel. Thank you guys. Hannah's going to share a few words on behalf of herself and the graduates after a picture.
Maybe Nathan if you had him.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Hannah. So first off, I'd like to say thank you to everyone for coming tonight. Now, I'd like to share a little story with you. When I first got wind of a Jewish group called CTeen from my mom, I immediately told her no. I was going through some pretty rough times, and the last thing I wanted to do was go out and be social. However, as reluctant as I was, my mom packed me up into the car and drove me to my first event. When I joined our Conejo chapter, it was just starting out. It was a small group, but everyone was welcoming. And I wanted nothing to do with anyone. As many of the senior teeners here know, I tend to keep to myself, and I'm kind of on the antisocial side. I was very hesitant to go to CTeen events. However, 3 years later, I am proud to say that I am even willing to skip a gym workout to go to a CTeen event. And some of you know how big that is for me. CTeen has become a second family to me. As much of an independent spirit I am, CTeen has made me realize that I can't always do everything on my own. And it has also made me realize that I don't want to do everything on my own.
Sometimes we need a little help from our family, and that family is what I found in CTeen. In CTeen, I found people who I can call up in the middle of the night and vent to. I found people whom I can go to their house and fall asleep on the couch. Whether I have a close relationship or not, I'm extremely grateful for each and every one of you. It seems like it was just a minute ago that I was walking to my first CTeen event, wanting nothing but to turn around and get back into my mom's car. I believe that every teen should have the opportunity in their lives to experience something as amazing as I did in CTeen. Those rough times that I spoke about earlier, I would go to school, come home, and shut myself in my room. I spoke to no one but my family. I was in a hole, to say the least. But CTeen brought me out of that hole. Not only that, CTeen brought me into a whole new world. Around us are so many distractions: phones, TVs, social media, politics, and so many times that tears us apart. But having a place to go where everyone knows everyone and we all support one another, that's family, that's CTeen. So I want to say thank you to my mother for pushing me to join CTeen, for dragging my stubborn rear end to my first event, for pushing me to keep going. But not only that, thank you for now putting up with the late night outs with friends. And that was something else I forgot to mention. When I first joined, I would go to an event and simply leave. But now, we all find ourselves doing something after events just to spend more time with each other. And to me, that's not just any friendship, that's family. So thank you to my mother and father for allowing me to have my late night shenanigans. This is my last year here at CTeen, and there are a few people I'd like to say thank you to. First off, Rabbi Mendy and Mushka. Mushka, don't leave. Thank you for allowing us to constantly invade your home, but not only invading your home, allowing each of us to find a home in it as well. Thank you for the countless hours you spend planning events. Thank you for always checking in on us if something seems off. Thank you for making the leap of faith and starting this chapter. Without you, I don't know where I'd be today. Next, I'd like to thank Rabbi Sappho. Thank you for hosting local Shabbatons, helping in hosting local Shabbatons. I know we can be quite the handful at times. Thank you for being a chaperone for our chapter on the New York Shabbaton. I truly enjoyed our late night break. Your words are always full of meaning and wisdom. And finally, thank you for bringing Rabbi Mendy Woshka here to start this chapter. Last but not least, my fellow CTeeners. I don't have time to tell each and every one of you something, so this is going to all of you. Thank you for never failing to put a smile on my face. Thank you for convincing me that it's good to take a day off from the gym every now and then. Thank you for the countless memories. Thank you for the leaving me behind at shul. You guys will never live that down. Thank you for all the inside jokes. Thank you for all the deep conversations. Thank you for the laughter, for the smiles. Although I won't be around as much next year, I want to make a promise to each and every one of you. I am here for all of you, no matter the day, no matter the hour, no matter where I am. I'm always a phone call or a text away. Whether you just want to talk, you need to pick me up, or you need advice. I am here for you. Why? Because you're my family. I love each and every one of you as a brother or a sister. Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah. All right, and the most important part of the evening, please enjoy your dinner.
First. You know what? You guys should be more
I know you get the gym.
What?
I didn't say it. I really don't. You don't?
Yeah.
That's right.
Really good. Yeah.
Thank you.
But I'm only taking a little bit.
No, it's going to be Jubilee.
Really?
I always stand up tall. What do you mean?
Probably will stay there.
You guys,
Oh, you thinking about wearing shorts?
מסתכל פה ושם, מסביב לעולם. יש צרות, דאגות, החיוך נעלם, אבל תראה רק שחור, כי גם זה יעבור. והכל יסתדר, כי השם יעזור. יש תקווה.
I saw you walk by.
Good? Great event. Sad to see all you guys leaving.
It's so sad.
Hello. Oh, he's shy now, huh?
Yeah, oh, we forgot to tell you, but that one.
I'm assuming, but none of this has peanut oil, right?
No peanuts.
I kind of figured. Not all.
It dominates his life and eats up all the living room.
Where is he? Yo, we need to have a Santa Rosa I just noticed it. Yeah.
Find your seat.
Yeah, all the way up the hill. No play time. You know, when you're a defender, it's kind of hard to score. I've been a defender until I had my arm broken. No. What the fuck? You had your finger broken. No, it doesn't make a difference. I couldn't play.
Very cute. Thank you.
Dude, I am one of them. I'm not kidding. I'll give you all that. No. Get it?
Like Germany, no, it's 18 cards.
Yeah, let's not do that one. I smell pain.
Happy CTeen Gala.
Hi.
Defiant to the CTeeners.
Mazel tov to all the graduates.
Hello.
bar mitzvah boy did so wonderful. Oh yeah, I'm shipping nachos.
Thank you.
Oh, it's a video.
Oh, okay, good.
It's a video. Please.
Oh, video. Hello.
It's
Go
on the
CTeen.
20th.
While you're all enjoying your dinner, hope you're enjoying your dinner. Before we move on to the next part of our program, we have a little game for you. A game that was put together by some of our CTeen members. It's a game that is CTeen themed. It's not a Kahoot. This game is called Heads Up. And I'm going to need some participation from the crowd. Some is going to be just two teens because I don't know if anybody else can guess the answers. Some of them will need some help from the parents. You ready? Okay. So for round number 1, can I call Ariel and Shai? You guys up for it? Come on up. This one is an acting one. So you cannot speak. You can only act. This is like charades, exactly right. So you guys have to, one of you can choose to, you know how the put it up on your head. One person is, oh, I'm going to move the podium. One person is the one who describes what's on the card, and the person with the iPad up on their head has to guess what they're acting out. You ready for it? Who's going to do what? How do I do this, Kobe? Swipe. Okay. Hold facing teammate. Show the graph.
I don't know.
Can you hook it up?
What? Making suka? Making this suka? What? Spell it. Wait, is that right?
Yeah. Okay, not bad. Not bad at all. How many did you get? You got 3. Okay, 3 points. Congratulations, guys. Let's see who. Oh, I got it. Okay. Can I ask a parent and teen to come up? Noah? Okay. Hold it facing the team and hold it facing here so everybody can see. Go!
Okay. It's like a sweatshirt. And what's the cardigan? What comes after Friday?
Saturday?
Yeah. And what's a sweatshirt?
CTeen
What's another word for?
Hey, she got it.
Hoodie?
Excellent. Down. Push it down.
Down. Okay, good. The day that you were born, what is it called?
Birthday.
And what do you love to drink out of?
A wine bottle. Oh, a mug.
What is it?
Down. Good.
I don't know.
Somewhere you leave, okay, you have to solve problems and leave a building. Okay, they're different
Courthouse?
in a no. They're different,
School?
skip, pass. It's a game. Okay. What do you eat? Oh, breakfast, dinner?
Lunch and dinner.
And okay.
All right, how many was that? Congratulations.
It's like a lunch club?
Oh, lunch club.
I don't know.
Lunch club.
Like, what are we doing with? Yeah, Natan and Bradley? Come on up here. Okay. Okay. Kobe, maybe. Give us the answers. This one is also.
No, this is my
Yes, also, okay.
No, I'm kidding. It is what it is, you know. No, never mind. Just circle.
That one.
Oh, you know it's a good sign when men messes up.
Okay. This one again is acting. Okay, acting. Like the first one, you cannot speak, right? You cannot speak.
No, you hold the left to the tablet.
I know. I did number 4. Yeah. Okay. Who's acting and who is who's guessing?
I'm acting.
You're okay. On your marks. Get set. Go.
Face up, face up.
Face everybody.
Don't fail me, Bradley. No drinking. No eating. Okay. Charity giving. Okay. Shaking my hand. Okay. Oh, leaving the CTeen flag. No. Like stirring, shaking. Shaking. Shaking what?
Yeah, good. 2 hands.
Shaking the flag?
That's
it.
The theme is mitzvahs. The theme
Mitzvahs?
of this one is
Okay.
mitzvahs. Go, keep going.
Tefillin. Wrapping tefillin, yeah? Woo! Torah reading, right? Torah at like on. Pass. Wait, what? It's not going up.
No, go down again.
No, he's like that's I'm like going past.
Alright. Good job. Okay. And for the next one, we need another parent and team. Do we have any volunteers from the crowd? Leora, you want to do it? All right, Sarah and Leora, you're up. So far we're tied for 3. The two teams each got 3. So to beat the game, you need to get at least 4. Which one do you want to do? You're doing the yes. You cannot speak. You could speak, but you have to just describe what's on the card without saying any words. Which one do you? Okay, so you just gotta press play. All right, hold it up on your head. Show the crowd the word.
Don't mess up, Sarah.
Oh. What's the theme?
Just look.
Mini golf.
Okay, yeah. Joe. Oh, he's not acting. Joey likes to go to this place. He went for his after prom party one time.
Oh, the AMC theater, movie theater.
No, it's you jump on trampolines and. She knows it.
Sky high.
It's like.
The other one.
Karate.
Yeah, the other one. It's at the Jan's Hall.
Just pass. The place we go for the New York Shabbaton.
Shooting range.
With
Target.
Well, we went to. It's too late. It's paintball shooting.
Paintball shooting is right.
We can't say shoot.
Can't say shoot. Okay, got one.
Yay!
All right, we're tied for first between Ariel and Shai and Noah, and the in-bars are tied. Okay, we are ready to move on to the next part of this evening.
Okay, hello. Hi, I'm Kara Steiner, and I'll be your MC for the rest of the evening. I feel so lucky to be standing by this podium tonight, surrounded by my family and friends that have become my family. CTeen has given me so much that most others my age don't have. A typical high schooler is concerned about how many followers they have on Instagram and how popular they are. They don't really get a chance to see the bigger picture of life. I knew it would be the most fun. I knew that this year at CTeen would be different for me.
As my last year, I thought it would be the most fun, amazing year yet. But it didn't turn out that way. Don't get me wrong, there are still many fun parts. This year was not the funnest, however, instead I got a year full of meaning and personal growth. Thanks to CTeen and Talk About Torah classes, I learned so much about myself and matured as a person. I know that there is so much more to life than Instagram followers and popularity contests. There is a whole world out there that needs goodness and kindness. I still value the lessons I learned here about Shabbos and being able to put my phone down and disconnect to connect with what is really important to life. In CTeen, I made so many Jewish friends. Beforehand, I maybe had one. Now almost all of my friends are Jewish. I have found a group of people who support me and care about me. I was able to open up to them and cry on their shoulders. I feel so connected to them and to the Jewish nation and homeland. This is the reason that I have decided to make Aliyah and join the IDF next year. Which is actually possibly next month. I want to protect and serve the Jewish people that I am so connected to. I've had amazing experiences here at CTeen, met so many new people and had great times together. But I realize it is time for me to grow and be there for others. Time to do better in the world in this next chapter of life. I will use what I learned at CTeen to influence the future. I would now like to call up David Katz and Maya Abaziz.
We're going to be doing a poetry slam for you guys. It's not a real poetry slam. I researched what a poetry slam was last week and I realized that it's actually a competition. But instead of a competition, we're just going to read off this poem that we wrote for all you guys.
Good job, David.
This year at CTeen, we could sum it up in a word. We know it's fun and totally unforgettable. Pretty amazing and completely inspirational. Enjoyable? Yes, but we need more material. Awesome, so amazing, even life-changing. This year at CTeen, you could even call it home. And this is so important that we had to mention it in this poem.
We've had so many great events this year that it's so hard to choose just one. From New York Shabbaton to lounge nights, they're all so fun. In TLC, we get to help others like they're our sisters and brothers. We meet our friends at lounge nights and take ourselves to new heights. At the International Shabbaton with the Inspiration Jewish Pride, we won the Mitzvah Project. We all screamed and wept, but there's one thing we must never ever forget. When we're in our best mood, we're eating some great food, and we gotta thank Mushka for making the best kishka.
Once upon a late night Shabbaton, when few in CTeen are fast asleep, we play cards and games until we collapse in a heap. We talk, and while some of us party in the Freedman's garage, others get lost on the way home from shul in Rancho Mirage.
When cheer is more important than an in-house Shabbaton, the rest drive down the highway while singing country roads. We wear Crocs on Shabbat because they're the best shoes to wear, and if Michael's as straight as his spine, then with Vinay, no one can compare.
We smile unexpectedly at CTeen so much. We must be blessed. From seeing Mushka dress up like Mendy to feeding the homeless. Because we always feel included. CTeen, you're all the best. And with these smiles come learning opportunity. Here in our chapter, CTeen of the Conejo Valley. Be grateful for what you have, lest it be taken away. Improve on social skills, celebrate Jewish holidays. How important is Judaism? We got that on which to chew. Want to know how to hold a cue stick? We learned that too.
But then we go deeper among the memories that we've made. If we may list some of them, here comes Memory Cascade. In regional Shabbatons, our Purim party, Times Square in New York, rat traps at leaders' meetings and maze navigation in the dark. When we won Chapter of the Year, every one of us felt such an... I can't talk anymore.
Elation.
That the closing ceremony really felt like we were one big nation.
Each of us have our personal stories. There's so much to share. We had our moments to tell all, from a teen talk Shabbos afternoon in Crown Heights to desert shuls and elsewhere. At our Farbrengens, after passing around the booze, we would light our neshama's fuse. And being inspired by each and every person, whether to open up, to become better, and to become super Jews.
We come back to CTeen because it's our second family, and for those who need a family, we welcome with glee. We come back to learn about our history and spirit, and our friends here to help us on our bad days, no matter how beastly. But it wouldn't be possible without the ones who made it so. To Mendy and Mushka Friedman, who run unrivaled in their altruism. I'm sorry, I'm very illiterate. Thank you for teaching, supplying, providing, celebrating, and being there for our Judaism.
Thank you. I wrote at the bottom, we had some more, and I wrote, we won't read past here. And we weren't going to read it, but I guess I read it, so we won't read past here. We're done. Thank you.
Only one line, too. Please welcome Maddie Atartu, Sarah Lewis. We're both healthy. Sarah doesn't need one.
I know, I was like, we're both okay. Hi. So, basically we made paper plate awards since everyone in CTeen all has like their unique unique qualities about them. So we have little special awards to give to everyone.
We're going to pass them to us, right?
What?
We're going to come get it done.
You guys have to come to us.
You get to travel.
Yes. How much you guys know, but a lot of the kids in CTeen are very big on cars, and we've kind of created a separate like car group chat. Whatever. So, this person is always there to spread info about cars. And he's a car group leader. It's Joey. Come get your little turbo. Okay. Take it in your own. Okay.
Next, we have the person that always spreads the most information and knowledge that she has about Israel. Here's to Eliana. Eliana, I don't know how to pronounce it. Come on up. Biggest Israel advocate.
Okay, so I got the pleasure of working very closely with this person all year. Yes. And I knew I could always count on her. She did a lot of the work for me. And she's just really great. So most dependable, Miriam.
This person's always keeping her cool. Here's to Hannah Chernovsky for calm, cool, and collected.
Okay, is Cassie even here? No. Okay, well, she gets the bilingual award, but... Should I do the next one?
Go ahead.
Okay, so this person has been my rant buddy, and she's always there for a shoulder to cry on. She's always there to hype me up when I need it the most. So this is for Natalie, best shoulder to cry
on. He's not here.
He's not here.
Okay, he's not here, but Guy Ben Shashan for the Friendly Giant. Here's to someone who's always sharing her artistic abilities. Here's to the true artist, Ariel.
Whether she's at school or at a CTeen event, this girl's always wild. She's always having a good time. So here's for Noah, the Wild Child Award.
I see how you are.
Here's to the guy that's always got the coolest kicks. Here's to Ben Seda.
Okay, whenever she walks into the room, it's almost like a light bulb turns on, and everyone's constantly smiling because she just spreads light. This is for Maya, who lights up the room.
Alright, here's to someone who always makes me smile even though I give him a hard time. Here's the most sarcastic award to Mikey Garland.
Although I wasn't there for the New York Shabbatone, I've definitely heard stories, so I think it's fit to give Michael the CTeen Leader of the Year. He finally gets his CTeen Leader.
Here's to someone that's always there for everyone. Here's to Karen Seidner with the biggest heart.
So, this person's super proud of his car. It's an Audi. It's the soccer mom car. George Hamilton.
He's gone.
We're not here. That's awkward.
I like how all of us turned to look
Okay, well.
at
Okay. Here's to someone who's always on point with her grammar skills. Here's to Juliet Gabay, the grammar police.
And the Crocs Queen. Yes. This person has the most adorable personality. She's just so cute. You just want to like hug her all the time. So it's the cutest personality award for Hannah.
Here's to someone who's always full of energy, even late into the night on Shabbatones, to our Shabbaton enthusiast, Shai Ben Shoshan.
This person's always here to lend a hand whenever we need it most. It's for Max Franklin, the most helpful.
Here's to someone who started her own club this year at her school and has made it flourish. Here's to Rachel, Bernie's club leader.
I know I can always depend on this person to help inform me since he's always so passionate about everything. So here's the Informative and Passionate Award for Bradley.
Here's to someone that everyone absolutely will always love and always remember, and who's always the best listener and gives the greatest advice. David Katz. Who's also a musical genius.
You need to do this one. You do that.
Here's to someone who's very chill and always goes with the flow, known as Brandon Jadidi or Jew Boy.
Well, that's because I'm calling him short.
That's true.
Okay, so you're standing right next to me, but you are the social butterfly. So here's the social butterfly award for Sarah.
She's standing right next to me. Here's to Maddie with the best laugh.
Okay, are you doing it first or am I? Okay, so we're very big on group chats apparently, and no matter what it is, whether it's for leaders or a separate event or just the girls or the guys chat or whatever, yeah, okay, I thought you weren't here for a second, but this is for the best group chat maker, Mushka.
Honestly, after they give you a word,
This one we have for Mendy, and it's most likely to lose his glasses.
So yeah, that's it.
Upside down.
Together all those awards. And on a little bit of a serious note, I want to say to everybody who's sitting at this long table in front of me, and I speak on behalf of Mendy too, thank you. Thank you for letting us be a part of your lives. Thank you for inspiring us, teaching us what it means to be there for somebody else, to care, and for inspiring us about what it looks like to be a proud Jew in this crazy world. We learned so much from you guys, and we care so much about you guys. Everybody's saying that CTeen is a family, and we call you guys our kids. So thank you for an amazing year, and yeah, we're here even in the summer. And a couple of other thank yous before this night slowly comes to an end. So first of all, thank you to all of the real parents of these white table people. Thank you for entrusting your children with us and for supporting all of our crazy endeavors, our late night Shabbatons, and all the stuff that comes up throughout the year, for supporting us and letting your kids be involved in this place, and for teaching your children that Judaism is important and is a priority, and of course for driving your kids who don't drive yet back and forth. Thank you. Thanks for being on the same page with us. It means a lot to us. A little shout out to Yessi for always being there and stepping in. Thank you to Sarah. She comes. Sarah. Sarah's the second mommy to my kids, which means she's the second mommy to your kids also. She's always chaperoning, taking Shabbatons, doing trips, doing the shopping, cleaning up, setting up. And not only that, she stays up late on the Shabbatons, and everybody, she can chat and she gives the best advice. Sarah, thank you. We have something for you. And last but not least, a thank you to Rabbi and Mrs. Sapo, my parents. They are the backbone of this chapter, and it's no secret that there would be no CTeen chapter without the tireless efforts of Rabbi Sapo day in, day out. He's the driving force behind our chapter, and he does everything in his power to make sure that all the CTeen programs happen and that they're accessible to everybody. So thank you. He never says no. Any idea that we come to him with or that the leaders came up with, he says, sure, do it, go, try. So thank you for always saying yes, and thank you for stepping in and taking the trip to New York. And a little shout out for going through the dark maze too this year. So thank you. And I want to call up Rabbi Sapo to share a few closing remarks, and we have something for you as well.
for the video.
Not loud enough, Abe? I go louder?
Look at John.
All right. So, first of all, a personal note. Many of you know our son Sholem, who's been the chaperone in New York for the Shabbatons for, I believe, the last 2 years. And the Sholem has just announced his engagement. As soon as this party is over, we're hopping on a plane to go to New York to celebrate there. I also do want to thank my daughter Genendi here. She's the reason that I'm here now and not stuck in the maze. I got calls that night from several CTeeners. You got to come see our maze. What they didn't tell me was you have to crawl like a snake, under the stomach. And then he was right there. She didn't tell me what to do, but she gave me enough clues that I was able to go up on the down. I'm here. Thank you. So thank you. She also got me out of the escape room last year. Remember from the Passover. So she is my sidekick when it comes to CTeen's crazy events that they want me to go through. So, I'm going to guess that I'm probably not the only one in the room who wiped away a few tears tonight. We had some amazing, amazing speeches. Juliet, Hannah, Karen, and they were extremely touching, to say the least. We do the girls, then we do the boys. Brandon, you were cool. And the humor, the poetry was all great and fun, but I was especially touched by really the heartfelt words. Just amazing to sit here and see these grown-up teenagers who are light years, I think, ahead of many other teens in this country, and how they can so eloquently articulate what they've gone through and going through. And Hannah referenced the Friday night at Mendy's parents' house in Crown Heights, which was an eye-opening experience for me as well as for some of the teens. This evening, which I look forward to every year, it's very, very special, very touching for both my wife and myself. For us, it's kind of a double nachas. It's the nachas of seeing the program. It's also the nachas of having our children, Mendy and Mushka, be the ones to direct this incredible program. So I want to share with you an email that I received this past Friday from a dear friend. He writes, I heard the most amazing praise of your daughter Mushka and son-in-law Mendy work with teens. I do not know who I was talking to, honestly, but this woman was going on and on and on. I said, yes, I know the father and mother. Wow, nachas and kol hakavod. The sanctification of God's name and the incredible work this woman was describing for her own daughter, as well as so many other teens, is inspiring. Assigned by Rabbi Yaakov Van from Calabasas Shul. I came here tonight. I learned that it was Tammy Berneman who inspired Rabbi Van to send me this email, so thank you, Tammy. You heard a lot tonight about the CTeen Shabbaton in New York, and regrettably, we can't take adults. But as was just mentioned by Mushka, I was very fortunate that their little boychik, who's in the back, being held by Sarah, was due to arrive on the Shabbos of the Shabbaton. And I said to them, it's not going to happen. You know it's not going to happen. He's going to be late. Mendy, you can go. And Mendy looked at Mushka. Mushka looked at Mendy. They both looked at my wife. And they all three looked at me and said, you're going. And it was a good thing because he was born as we were standing at Times Square. And that might have had a little, had Mendy been there at Times Square, I'm not sure that relationship right now, how that would have been. So, it was actually a priceless moment. There I was standing. It was kind of out of the mush in the middle, and I was standing right next to one of New York's finest, and NYPD. And I got off the phone, I said, my daughter just had a boy, and he said, Mazel Tov. And I said, how do you speak that language? And he said, I used to be with the Navy, and I was sent to Israel to try and find Gaddafi in Libya some years ago, so I speak a little Hebrew. But what I really want to share with you is that everything is by divine coincidence, if you call that. Divine providence, thank you. I guess I'm also a little illiterate tonight. The first Shabbaton that we participated in CTeen in New York was before we even had a CTeen chapter. I was able to take 2 students from the Conejo Hebrew High with me to New York. And I recall walking the streets of New York, looking at all these large chapters, 20, 30 kids, and these young, energetic rabbis, rebbitzins running around, and me looking at my 2 kids, my brother and sister, thinking, maybe one day we'll have a large group like this. Maybe one day we'll have a young, energetic rabbi here, and not me. And the rest, as they say, is history. But so for me, it was especially poignant to be there in New York this year. And to run around with, I think we had 29 or 28 kids with us, 6 chaperones. The moment that they had 4 finalists for that Chapter of the Year award, and it was very dramatic, of course, the drum rolls and everything. And the moment they said the winner of this year is CTeen Conejo, all the teams went running on the stage. And I was frozen in my place. I couldn't move. Because suddenly I just had a flashback to that first year with my 2 kids. And of course I thought, wow, Mendy, you should be here right now. Mushka, you should be here. This is not my moment, it's not my glory, this is totally yours. But they were busy with other things, so I eventually got onto the stage and they handed me the award, which is in the corner there, and this large check, which we forgot to bring here tonight, this $500 check. And it was really a very, very treasured, cherished moment for me, and as you can tell, a very emotional moment, even talking about it now a few months later, of really appreciating how far we had come in a short 4 years. But I want to tell you about one more moment in New York that really brought it all together. Friday night, the girls asked me, after they're done with the formal program, if I would come to the home Mendy's parents. I was staying with the boys just a few doors down. Would I come and what we call a Farbringen, which means a Yiddish word that means just to spend time together sharing stories, questions, answers, thoughts, reflections, what have you. And in addition to all the wonderful stories and thoughts that were shared by the teens, there was something that touched me very much. And that was that we were joined by another group from College Town, Texas, led by none other than Talia Lewis, the very first CTeen Conejo Valley president. See, Talia went to College Town, called up the Chabad rabbi there and said, you have CTeen here? And they said, no. And she said, well, you will now. Because even though I'm a freshman in college, I am making a CTeen chapter. And there she was with her kids. And you know, when you talk about nachas, and whether you're a parent or if you're a grandparent, to sit at the table and to see, this is the girl that we inspired, and now she's brought the second generation to New York. I gotta tell you, that was totally awesome. So thank you for that nachas. Mushka thanked me for everything I do and for putting it all together, but the reality is, I'm just a middle person. I put the money in the bank, but the money's got to come from somewhere. And unfortunately, I don't have it. So I'd like to publicly recognize the sacrificial efforts of a number of families who make CTeen really possible. Suffice it to say that without their assistance, nothing you heard tonight would be possible. The trips, the lounge, the activities, and so much more are all due to their keen concern for our future as a people and their genuine and deep appreciation for the incredible work of CTeen and Mendy and Mushka. I might add that the Jewish Federation, which has graciously granted us funds for the past 4 years, informed us just recently that they are now focusing on other demographics and will no longer be funding teen activities. So, yeah, it's a big O. So for the first time, we will be relying solely on our community for 100% of CTeen's budget, without any assistance from outside foundations or organizations, barring any unforeseen miracles at this point, but you never know. We always believe in miracles. There's a very special couple tonight. Actually, she's not here. She wasn't feeling well, so she's not here. But it's the very first time that he is at a CTeen banquet, I believe. And what's interesting is that their daughter was already married with a child of her own by the time we opened CTeen in 2015. But they have nevertheless believed in this program wholeheartedly. And in fact, he was responsible for the opening of the Jew Crew Club at Oak Park High and continues to sponsor all the pizza at the weekly meeting. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Mr. Stuart Greenberg. He also doubles for the uninitiated as Rabbi Sappho when necessary. And I also double as the CPA when necessary. So let me tell you what you're getting here tonight, okay? This is called a tea box. You put tea in here.
I thought it was the bottle of Mushka.
We can't do that with teenagers already. So the Lubavitcher Rebbe, who was an extremely busy man, and is really the true inspiration behind Chabad and CTeen, despite the tremendous responsibilities on his shoulders, and every moment of his day was methodically thought out and accounted for, would visit his mother every single day in New York and make her a cup of tea and spend half an hour with her. And later on, or not later on, but simultaneously, he found time every day to spend with his wife, also over a cup of tea. This was a man who slept never more than 3-4 hours a night. But that was an important part of his day, was having the tea with his mother and then with his wife. So Stu, for you and Carrie, we'd like you to have a cup of tea every day. And when you drink your tea, you think of CTeen. Very good. Thank you for all the pizza and all the wonderful stuff. There's a few other names, but they're not here tonight. Here's one that is here tonight, and I don't truly have enough words to adequately thank Lee and Leora Lewis, who have given us 3 wonderful teenagers, as well as always being the very first to sponsor our activities and so much more. Their unconditional, magnanimous support of CTeen is truly God-sent, and I know that they share the nachas I spoke of earlier, seeing their children carry forth the messages of Judaism and CTeen. Lee and Leora, please come up. I know you have your own vineyard in your backyard, so I know you drink wine together every day, but now you can have some tea every day as well. It's a little healthy. Last but not least, if you have participated in our annual online Matchathon fundraiser, you're familiar with the Rita Markowitz Children's Scholarship Fund, Rita's Fund, which has adopted CTeen as its main funding project. Each year, when we host this online fundraiser, it's spearheaded by Bruce and Kathy Markowitz, and they truly throw their heart and soul into its success. The truth is that before CTeen was even an entity in the Conejo Valley, when I first presented it as a dream, Kathy and Bruce immediately jumped on the bandwagon and made the launch of this program a reality. And I hope that they are sitting here tonight enjoying the nachas and all the incredible accomplishments as much as Bracha and I have been doing all night. Kathy and Bruce, please come up. now the tireless, energetic, smart, extremely organized leader of CTeen in the Conejo Valley, Rabbi Mendy.
Hi. What an evening. Your dessert is ready in the back.
Oh, wow.
I actually had one more thing to say. I'm not sure if you noticed that when we called up the graduates here this evening, the table emptied out, and yeah, it just makes you realize that first of all, this is the group that we started with, and they're the driving force to the growth of CTeen into what it is today, and it makes me anticipate next year and see how different it's going to be. And I look forward to it with all of you guys who are still with us. And the challenge is accepted. And I look forward to another awesome year. But it wasn't my job to announce a dessert, Karen.
We forgot to thank two other people, Andy and Mushka. We would not have CTeen without you guys, and we wouldn't have this family, a safe home place to call CTeen, CTeen. And we've grown so much, so we got all of us here pitched in to give you a nice, lovely gift for you and your family. And then, yes, the donut wall is there. It was a nice attempt. So, I hope you guys enjoy. You guys may take any of the, there's coasters with pictures on them. You may take them. And then also, if you look through over the years, these are all the photos we have. You can also take the ones in the middle, not on the poster board.
Supposed to say CTeen, but they ran out of time.
Really? What was that?
I get it. Supposed to say CTeen. Can you take one? You want one off the wall or you want this? Let's pick one.
That's so recent.
Yeah. I
get that a lot.
Yeah. But it's not just good.
Where you get your chocolate chip cookies from.
Very strong Israel presence. Yeah. Unlike some of the other schools that you.
So they don't have an Israel apartment?
No, they do not. It's one of the reasons why I'm happy my son's finishing this.
Where are we looking? Which one first? Got it one at a time.
You want my shoes? You don't know what it is. It's 0-1. Fine. Wait, you took it out?
Travel, grow.
So
Can someone join me at the bottom? I got it.
Wait.
Julia! Juliet! Juliet! David, girls only!
David, your girl, go!
Unless anyone somebody bad for you.
Okay.
Mushka! Wait. Okay, now boys. Alright guys, come boys.
Oh, Joey, you go! Michael!
Where are we looking?
Everybody look right here, right here.
I think we're good.
Just the boy.
Just the boy? Oh, just the boy! One more. Guys, get back and stand up.
I like the serious face sometimes. My mom is in Pasadena, my dad's in North Hollywood. You know? They're everywhere. I'm always excited.
Oh my God! Yeah, so good.
Bye.
Bye. We had a great night.
Send me the clip of my daughter's speech. You can.
Let's walk out. Last person. Everyone as they come in. Bye, we had a great time. I was in the car with you. What car do you drive there?
Aaron, you're coming home today, right?
Why are you sure you want to wait?
I'm fine.